Okay, you've been with me for this long. Now let's simply move on to section 3, which consists of the question, or statement I guess you could say, of you can never have too many salesmen. This is going to be a quick and short one. There really isn't too much to say on the matter. What do I mean by this? What are your thoughts on this? If you want, you can write them down. I'm open to any questions or comments in there, and I will get back with them as soon as I can. And I appreciate everyone who's come along with me on this journey so far. And now back to the statement at hand. What I mean by this is that 90% of companies are based around having some sort of salesman. It's actually probably about 100% of companies are based on sales. I mean, how else are you going to get your money? Which means there are some companies that are totally based on not having any, but some of those could benefit from having some. For example, most doctor's offices don't really need one, but could benefit from having a salesman in with their advertising to promote more people to come and see them. Which I guess is true, you know, using salesmen to promote your office or dental practice or anything like that. The only way you can have too many salesmen is when you pay them for the hours they put in. For example, a shoe store could have too many because you are paying them on hourly base plus maybe commission, and plus the size of the shoe store. I mean, if you have 100 salesmen and like 100 square feet, you got one guy per square feet. Everybody's gonna be bumping into each other. So if you had a lot of salesmen, then it would hurt your bottom dollar, and plus might upset some of the other employees, causing their sales to drop. This rule applies to any company who pays salesmen on commission base only. What are your thoughts on this? Well, let's jot them down. I'll tell you a few of mine, and that is simply that you can't have too many. A good example of this would be a handyman, which I am sure you have a crew and you also advertise in the local paper, or just strictly from word of mouth, friends telling friends and all this other stuff, or somebody knows you through somebody and you get your referrals. Well, if you have 5 crews running out there, then you need to have at least 5 or more salesmen. 1 salesman for each crew that is running, and each area, even dividing the areas you work into sectors. At least 5 or more salesmen per crew. The way this would work is, well, the crews are working, the salesman is going door to door trying to sell your service. And the more salesmen you have, the more work each crew will have lined up, until you are running over 100 crews and making well over $1 million a year. What are your thoughts on this? Would you like to make over $1 million a year? My help, you could. Let me ask you a question. How many salesmen do you have right now? If the answer is none, then maybe you should start looking into discussing bringing 1 or 2 in, for 1 at least, for a trial period. If your answer is 1, then you are not at all working this right. Unless that 1 salesman is bringing in over $1 million a year, but then think what 2 salesmen could do. The more salesmen you have, the more room you have to grow. This is the key, not the size of your place or how many employees you have, but how many salesmen you have, and then you can have more employees. Look at where you are right now with all your sales staff. How much sales is depending on you and also stressing you out? For each salesman you have, you could easily be looking at 10 to 20% more money coming in. The reason you are in business is to make money. And what it boils down to is the simple plan that if you are not selling, you're not making money. What are your thoughts on this simple rule? As the rule goes, it does not matter also that you try to keep every salesman or it does matter that you try to keep every salesman because they've gotten you to where you are, but not to keep the salesman with the exception of the workers. Now that's pretty much the end of this section. Do you have any questions or concerns? Leave them in the comments below. Now remember, and now you have finished with section 3. Now, if you want to continue with me, and I would appreciate it if you did, you can continue this journey and we'll go on to section 4. Family comes first and then the company, and we'll enjoy this experience together. Thank you very much for listening to my statement.